I hope you're hungry, because in this video, we're going to eat. Hi, I'm Mike Phillips. And no, we're not serving up any virtual food. We're talking about EAT, expertise, authority, and trust, one of the most impactful elements of ranking well. We will discuss what it is, why it's important in a business and SEO context, some tips for how you can get it right, and pitfalls you should avoid. So if you're ready to get started, let's dig in to EAT. So what even is EAT? As we mentioned, EAT is an acronym. It abbreviates for expertise, authority, and trust. The three most impactful areas you can focus on for ranking well and proving quality. The importance of EAT cannot be understated. In fact, in a recent update from Google, it was mentioned over 135 times. There are few things that have been emphasized so clearly as the EAT framework. When it comes to the importance of getting EAT right, it could not be more clear. Recent research by Demand Gen shows that 67% of B2B buyers begin their buying journey with a broad web search. You need to position yourself with expertise, authority, and trust to begin capturing that early stage demand. The challenge here is that EAT is not an explicit ranking factor. It's a combined effect of factors that judge authority and quality in what you produce. Many factors of EAT vary by industry. There's a few examples I want to go through so you can understand how this may impact the sector that you work on. Medical advice articles will only achieve high EAT rankings when they are written by the right professional organizations or authors with the right credentials. This makes sense when you think about it. Medical advice should come from credentialed and specialized experts. EAT is simply formalizing that in a way to elevate content from the right sources. EAT would apply to something like journalism by looking at professional voice, citations, and the structure in which journalistic practices are followed. The way sources are quoted, the way sources are referenced, will all be measured and assessed so that a news article from a reputable journalistic source will rank higher than a blog by an unauthoritative or not so rigorously vetted producer. High EAT science articles follow a similar influence to medical. The authors should be credentialed. The publication should be associated with trusted, authoritative sources, like universities and research labs. Even outside of the hard sciences, renovations and other home improvement content would need to come from authoritative, experienced sources. Brand new pages from authors that are not established in the home improvement field will have a lower EAT score than an experienced contractor or designer with a site that has been up for a while. From hobbies to medical advice, EAT is everywhere. But it is especially in play in categories that are referred to as your money or your life. If the advice that is being delivered through the content affects the reader's financial well-being, their health, their wellness, these will be impacted more heavily by the EAT ranking. Your money or your life, YMYL for short, covers a wide array of areas. Health, financial stability, safety of individuals, and welfare of society. These areas are uncompromising in the requirement for high expertise, authority, and trust for content to be elevated in the ranking results. So how do we make the most of this ranking system? Let's talk about 3 specific tips that you can implement to make sure you're maximizing your EAT credentials. Number 1 is the first letter in the acronym, E, expertise. Make sure your site, your authors, your contributing writers, the platforms that you link to, and the sites that link back to you all underscore and validate your expertise. Make sure that your expertise is included in your domain. Awards, degrees, time in field, news coverage, all of these things combine to prove the depth of your expertise. The second thing is trust. This one is about understanding people. People innately know what trustworthy content looks like. I recommend focusing on writing in the audience's voice, speaking to their problems to prove you understand them. People trust what they relate to, so be relatable. Write like a human for humans. Use their voice. Prove that you understand their problems by relating to them. And when people give you social proof, either through backlinks or quotations, feature that. Nothing makes someone more skeptical than you saying you think you are great. People feel more comfortable when the things that you are saying are corroborated by others, and when real people give their opinion that you are a trustworthy source. Think of trust as a currency. It's transferable. Someone can lend it to you to give you the benefit of the doubt. You can earn it through the quality of the way you write, and you can waste it by failing to deliver the value you promise. The last tip is when it comes to authority to remember that Google considers popularity a proxy for authority. This is why it's taken in combination with expertise and trust, because there can be plenty of popular pages that produce untrustworthy or low expertise advice. There is a baseline assumption that the more popular a page is, the more valuable its content is. This is measured through content consumption behavior. How long do people spend on your page? How many subpages do they click through? How often is it shared? How often is it linked to? The more popular your page is in a given niche, the more authoritative it becomes. The other factor that is considered is how on point a given piece of content is relative to the established niche you usually talk about. If all of a sudden a blog about home renovations starts writing about hairstyles, that may not be perceived as a very authoritative article. Define a niche well, speak to the audience, become popular for that focus. That's how you build authority. Now that we've talked about doing it right, let's make sure you're aware of the pitfalls you should avoid. The main pitfall when it comes to EAT is the temptation to try to hack it. All practices that will try to circumvent genuine expertise, building meaningful trust, and having real authority may fall under black hat SEO tactics. These are not necessarily illegal things to do, but they are recognized by Google as a deliberate attempt at working around producing quality. Some of these strategies might be backlink farming or keyword stuffing, things that we have addressed as pitfalls in other lessons in this course. The reason we talk about them again here is because when you view them through the lens of EAT, the outcome is even more severe. Algorithms know when you are trying to beat them. They have people building in recognition code into the algorithms to target these specific actions. In the case of EAT, a site that ranks very low for EAT may have the worst outcome of all, being completely wiped out from search listings. This is clearly the last thing that you want to do. It's actually far more beneficial to play the middle and long-term game, to build expertise in your career, in your brand, to build trust by relating to your audience, and having authority through accruing genuine, authentic popularity. I'd like to give you some homework to practice what we've talked about so far. Go through all of your content and make sure E, A, and T, expertise, authority, and trust, are each addressed. When it comes to expertise, make sure the necessary aspects are present on your site. Awards, credentials, associations you're a part of, organizations you partner with. All of these things will increase expertise. Look at your content today. Be honest about whether these credentials are there, about whether there are some you should include or some you shouldn't. Again, accuracy and authenticity matter to build expertise. Again, accuracy and authenticity matter to prove true expertise. Next, view your site through the eyes of your buyer. Are you being relatable? Are you helping them genuinely? Are you giving value before you ask them to do anything? These are actions that make buyers feel trust and their behavior will be reflected and measured by Google. This human behavior is cataloged, learned by the algorithm, and your trust ranking will increase. When it comes to authority, look for how popular your content is with a relevant audience. This may take longer than you want it to, but it is absolutely worth the investment. Authority is not something you can just write for and have done. It is not like keyword density. Authority is about directly engaging real people with relevant, helpful information. It is more active than passive. This is where an SEO strategy should include distribution of content. Produce quality and produce value, and then make sure the right people see it and interact with it. It's not just about ranking, it's about sharing and engaging in active conversations. Partner with other members of a marketing team to help you achieve this. We've reached the end of this video. Now you know that EAT stands for expertise, authority, and trust. You understand ways to prove your expertise, to earn trust, and to build authority. Doing all of these things will have a positive impact on your business, as EAT is one of the most heavily ranked factors in the your money or your life industries. Thank you so much for learning with me. I'm Mike Phillips, and remember, your buyers are hungry for expertise, authority, and trust. Deliver that to them, and your rankings will only increase.